We are often told that we should be kind and put other people's needs ahead of our own. But does anyone ever tell us that being too kind and caring can be dangerous? We live in a world where we don't always get what we give because it's full of generous people who see how their giving empties them, both financially and emotionally. Could being too kind even put our own lives in danger? Be prepared to be surprised by the bad things that can happen when you're overly kind. Today, I'll share 8 bad things that can happen to you if you're too nice, and I'll show you 4 tough ways to keep people from taking advantage of you. Let's move on to number 1 without further ado. Lesson 1. You will have too high hopes for people. The Stoics said that we should accept things as they are and not depend on what others do to make us happy. Giving without expecting too much in return keeps you from being disappointed and helps you practice emotional separation, which gives you a calmer mind. Whether we realize it or not, it's hard for us to be fully selfless when we give. When we give everything we have, we subconsciously expect others to do the same when we need something important. However, by doing this, you may condition people to expect everything from you. They may take it for granted that you'll handle everything in their lives and yours, especially your own. If you don't take care of yourself, why would others prioritize your needs? In reality, your hopes for reciprocity may not be met, leaving you feeling disappointed, tired, angry, and sad. Objectively, people aren't letting you down. They're simply doing what you should be doing, taking care of their own tasks. Lesson 2. People will only expect you to give. The Stoics taught that real worth comes from acting in a way that is good and logical, not from merely doing what others want. Moderation and balanced giving help you stay in control of your actions and prevent habits that harm your mental health. You've heard your whole life that people are creatures of habit, and this couldn't be more accurate. People are designed to adapt to patterns, routines, and the comfort zones around them. If you're always giving, those you help will come to expect it all the time. You'll lead them into their comfort zones, where they'll rely on you instead of handling their own responsibilities. If you don't value yourself, no one else will likely encourage you to prioritize your needs. Don't expect the people you help to show this kind of empathy. They're focused on their own needs. Instead, they'll continue taking advantage of your kindness, leaving you drained. Lesson 3. Your goals will not be taken into account. The Stoics emphasized that it's essential to live. By reason and virtue, we must set limits and prioritize our own responsibilities if we want to stay balanced and not sacrifice our identity and well-being for others. If you put everyone else's needs before your own, you may be running away from something within yourself that hurts or scares you. How do you feel when you spend the weekend alone or come home every day knowing no one is there to greet you? If you're doing countless things to avoid confronting yourself, the blow will eventually be twice as hard. On one hand, you'll have to face yourself sooner or later, and on the other, your bad mood will worsen as you continue to put others' needs before your own. Self-care is one of the most important aspects of maintaining your health. Before helping others feel better, you need to ensure that you are happy, well-rested, and fulfilled. For instance, you should never give someone a chocolate unless you first truly enjoyed one yourself. Similarly, don't offer to clean a friend's house until you've cleaned your own, and perhaps relaxed with a good movie and a glass of wine. The rest of the world comes after you. Lesson 4. People will think you are weak and treat you that way. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate strength and self-discipline. By setting limits and focusing on our responsibilities and ideals, we earn others' respect instead of being perceived as weak. However, if you help others too much, over time, you may create the exact opposite impression. When you don't set boundaries, people might see you as someone they can depend on to offload their responsibilities, because they know you won't say no. On the contrary, the moment you use the magic word no, people may start to respect you in ways they never expected. Without boundaries, you'll attract people who constantly come to you only when they need something. Stoicism teaches us to be wise and discerning in choosing whom to help. With self-control and perspective, we can distinguish between genuine individuals and those seeking to exploit us, saving our time and energy for meaningful connections. People who once seemed like good friends may suddenly only want to hang out when they need something. If you think about it logically, this is not so surprising. Most people don't invite their employees or co-workers for coffee, let alone for a beer. What's happening makes sense, but that doesn't make it fair. You must learn how to handle these situations using methods I'll explain at the end to ensure people don't take advantage of you. Lesson 5. You'll only attract takers and not givers. With patience and sound judgment, we can build relationships that are genuine and mutually beneficial. However, when you lack boundaries, you're likely to only attract people who want something from you while giving nothing in return. Both parties, people, come into our lives because their energies match up with ours. That is, if we vibrate low, we attract people who are negative, depressed, have dark souls, and want to hurt us. On the other hand, when our vibrations are high, we draw people who are full of good energy, kindness, excitement, hard work, and joy. Because of this, when we give to everyone, we lose so much energy that we start vibrating at a low frequency. This makes needy people feel drawn to us, as well as opportunists who don't even want to help. They only want to take what they can from us and leave without even saying thank you. Lesson 6. You could end up getting hooked on something. The Stoics taught people to be calm and in charge of themselves. Self-discipline in giving keeps us from getting stuck in bad habits and allows us to maintain a good relationship with our actions and choices. When shortage becomes a regular part of our lives, the need for something grows, which is the best way to get addicted. One day, someone close to you might notice that you drink too much, not just spring water. They might also notice that you eat too much or even gamble too much. Pay close attention to what someone who cares about you says. Your first instinct may be to get mad at them and tell them you don't have any problems. However, this is how people usually act when they are so caught up in their own issues that they can't see they have one. Always remember that people who care about you want what's best for you. So, pay close attention to what they say, because they're trying to help you stop falling and move forward. Lesson 7. You'll make people think twice. Stoicism tells us to do good things no matter what other people think of us. By focusing on living in line with our beliefs and principles, we build a good image that can withstand false accusations. No matter how much we'd like things to be different, the truth is that there aren't that many kind people in the world. So, if you are one, people will be suspicious of you instead of being impressed and thankful. It won't be long before your kindness makes people wonder what's going on with you and what plans you have that you don't tell anyone about. This could mean you've met a group of suspicious people, but it's more likely they're just being honest. Most people who want to help too much are hiding such evil plans that it's best to stay away from them and refuse the help they offer. Lesson 8. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to how you feel because it's telling you something. Based on the Stoic idea of self-awareness, the Stoics believed it was important to think about yourself, to understand your feelings and wants. By paying attention to your feelings, you can tell if you're giving too much and wearing yourself out mentally. This allows you to shift your focus and find a good balance. How does it make you feel to help other people? Thinking about yourself and putting yourself first is such a kind thing to do that you should feel like you're walking on clouds when you do it. If you feel too busy, tired, angry, or used, it's time to listen to how you feel. If something you don't have to do makes you feel so bad, don't lie to yourself about it. Instead, figure out how the help you're giving affects your health. Following the lessons of the Stoics, you should realize that your time and energy are important and need to be used in a balanced way. Self-control can be shown by being able to say no when you feel too busy or when the request is unfair. Even though the word no makes us think of bad things and sadness, it's normal to find it hard to say. However, if we don't learn to say this word when someone wants more from us than we can give, pessimism will take over our lives. Practice in front of the mirror and remind yourself that saying no is the only way to regain your freedom and avoid unnecessary risks. Have a time and place for yourself. Respect them. Following the Stoic values of self-discipline and self-respect, it's important to give yourself time and space to take care of yourself. Do what you enjoy. Exercise, draw, listen to music while having a cup of tea, or anything else that brings you joy. Finish your responsibilities as soon as you can, so you can dedicate time to yourself. Take this very seriously, so seriously that you should schedule this time every day or every week. If someone asks for your help during that time, they need to be exceptionally kind and helpful to you. Without remorse, tell them no and enjoy that time and space for yourself. If you don't want to be so direct, you can offer to help at a different time, but make it clear that you will only be available briefly because you have other commitments. Identify energy vampires and distance yourself from them. Following the Stoic principles of self-discipline and wisdom, it's important to recognize which relationships are beneficial and which drain you mentally. By staying away from people who constantly deplete your energy and offer nothing positive in return, you are taking care of your own health and demonstrating Stoic self-control in your relationships. Understand that if you try to help an energy thief, it won't work. These people overwhelm you with complaints, pains, and a catastrophic view of life. Don't bother trying to help them, because if their problems were solved, they would have to stop complaining, which is something they wouldn't tolerate. According to Stoic wisdom, the best measure for all things in life is always the middle ground, and generosity is no exception. If we give too little, we come across as selfish and greedy, while if we give excessively, we end up completely drained of energy, time, and probably money as well. So, lean toward balance, which remains the best choice. Find a middle ground between putting other people's needs first and prioritizing your own. And if you're ever unsure, just remember the magic word, no. Even more so, avoid situations where the intent feels questionable. For instance, if someone offers to drive you home from the window of their car. We've reached the end of this journey, and I sincerely hope these tips will be of great use to you. Don't forget that you are a crucial part of this channel. If this video has helped you, made you think, or taught you something, give it a thumbs up so that more people can discover the power of Stoic wisdom. And if you haven't already, don't forget to check out our ebook on Stoicism and how to apply it in your life. Subscribe for a daily dose of Stoic wisdom and growth.